Okay, here's a little video. I'm really sorry about the bad quality of the sound. I'm working on getting a better microphone, but this is all I got for now. Hopefully this video might help any of you that are stuck. I'm just going to go through this pretty quickly, but maybe if you watch, it'll help you when you are going along too. So I'm going to open up my directions, and I'm not going to read through all this because I already did when I wrote it. But you should read through, the beginning part. The actual directions start here. So this is where I'll start for this video. So I'm going to open up the start.tiff file. Let me do that real quick. There it is. And this is just a photo that I got. This isn't like a personal photo or anything. It had a lot of good errors to fix in it though. Alright, so what we want to do is we're going to crop it. We're going to choose the resolution. Let's see. We'll straighten tool. Alright, so the first thing we'll do is get the crop tool, which is right here. And we're going to type in, we're going to want this to be unconstrained. I'm going to type in 7 and then IN so it knows inches by 7 inches. Now your Photoshop is going to look a little different than mine because you have new Photoshop and I have an old laptop for school with an older version of Photoshop. So it'll look very similar but not exactly the same. So there we go. And I can't type in the resolution on my old version, so I'll do that on another part. But there's my 7 by 7. So now we're going to straighten. So there's a straighten button right here. And I'm going to click up on this corner and drag it along the top. Photoshop's going to straighten it. Ooh, there we go. And I am going to move the corners and the edges until it fits the image nicely. We're going to get rid of that white border. Good enough. Then I'll hit enter and it'll apply the change. Right there. So now we trimmed off the white and straightened the image. We also changed the size to 7 by 7 inches and the pixels per inch to 200. And you can see that down at the bottom. So if you click here, you can choose from different things, but if you want to see the dimensions, 7 by 7, 200 pixels per inch. For Tuesday's work, we worked with adjustment layers. So it looks like I have my channels open over here. I'm going to click on layers. And we just have the one background. So I'm going to drag the background down to a new layer. There we go. And I'm going to click on the name to rename it back up, just in case I screw it up big time. I always have a backup of the image, and I'm going to make it invisible, and I'm going to work on the background. Alright, now I'm going to go down here to the half moon cookie and click on it and choose curves, because we're going to get rid of the color cast. And the way you do that is here's we're not going to manipulate this today, but we're going to choose this white eyedropper. Yours might be down here, but my old version, it's up here. So I'm going to click the white high point, and I'm going to zoom in on this girl's dress right here, because that's the brightest part that's supposed to be white. And you can see there's a bit of a yellowish red cast. So I'm going to click on that, and it'll fix that. There we go. And that's all you have to do for that. I'll back it back out. Well, that looks interesting. Now I'm going to go back to the background, choose another adjustment layer, and choose levels. Now for this, I'm going to choose, if you move the black point around, it'll affect the darkness. This affects the high point, and this is the mid-range. But what we want, you can also enter in numbers. We're going to have 15 for our low number, 0.9 for the middle, and 230 for the high. I think those were the numbers. Do whatever numbers are in the directions. That's what I'm trying to remember the numbers as. I think I'm right though. And that's it. Alright, let's see. So what we're going to do first is get rid of this wacky looking rip in the paper. So I'm going to get the spot healing brush out, which is right under here. So when you hold down the mouse, you'll see all these tools. Here's spot healing brush, and up in the menu, the options menu, I want to make sure content aware is clicked, and we want a brush that's about 25 pixels with 100% hardness. Okay, and now what we're going to do is just paint over. Whoops. Click the background layer. Make sure you're working on the background layer. And now when you paint over the crease, it will fix it. I'm going to paint very carefully. I'm not going to try to do it all at once. There you go. Ha! Alright, so I'm going to go down and do this crease. Alright, now we're going to try to get rid of one of these boys. Some of you got rid of this poor little boy over here. Some of you erased this little guy out of existence. So we're going to go back to here, choose the patch. Make sure that you have content aware selected. And I'm going to zoom in and select around him. Pretty close. And a shadow. Now I didn't get all of them, but I can hold down the shift key like a regular selection and add to it. There we go. I don't want to select a whole lot of area far away from him. I want to be kind of close. Because what I'm going to do is slide this over to this blank area right here, and I don't want to do it, unevenly like this. I want to try to match it up the best I can, and I don't want to crash it into the woman because that'll be strange looking too. So right about there, and it'll magically replace the area, but it also copies the building. So we're going to fix this next. I haven't saved since I've started, and I think I was supposed to do that in the very first step, so I messed up. Doesn't matter. I'm going to go up here to save as, and I'm going to name it whatever, Mr. Jerred 06, or whatever, as long as I know what it is. And then under format here, we're going to click and go up to Photoshop. And hit save to wherever you save yours. There we go. Great. Getting rid of these little colorful dots that showed up when they scanned the photo. So we did that by going to Filter, Noise, Dust and Scratches. And what we did was we kept the radius at 1 and the threshold at 0, hit OK, and a lot of those disappeared. Because there was something I forgot. There was a hair up on the picture up here, and we're supposed to spot brush that out. So make sure you read through the directions carefully, because I'm going on memory, and my memory is not good. But wherever you have with the spot healing brush, let's see, if you saw any other weird areas of distracting marks, you can easily wipe those out too. We're actually going to do something similar we're going to use this clone stamp. And I think I'm doing this a little bit out of order, so like I said, you want to read the directions carefully. So I'm going to click the clone stamp, and the way this works is if I hold down the Alt button, the cursor turns into a target, and it'll sample whatever area that is. So if I hold down the Alt button and click on this lady's head, and then I let go and I paint over here, it'll paint that lady's head over here. Now that looks stupid. That's not what we're going to do. We're going to use it to fix up where we remove the boy, because you can see it does this really easy to spot fake repeating kind of pattern. So we're going to make it look like this draws attention to itself. Your brain picks up on these patterns quickly. We're going to leave this. I'm going to get rid of this white pattern on the side. So I'm going to target a blank area, like right here, and then paint a little bit over. Oops. There we go. And what I did was I turned off the visibility on these before I did this. There we go. So now this isn't there, but this line is still there. So this is kind of like a judgment call. Maybe I'll take this crack here and put it here. So maybe I'll sample that and paint across here. Whoops, let me try that again. There we go. It's just different enough. This is kind of recognizable. So maybe I'll take this and Alt click and paint out a little bit of that. There we go. This, whoops, whoops, whoops. This and this line are pretty much the same. So I'm going to zoom out and maybe take one of these lines. Like maybe I'll take this one and Alt click it, and then right here, paint down, and it puts a different line there. So that looks about right. The only thing left is this is a little crooked. So I'm going to fix this, because this is a repeat. Maybe I'll take some of this, put it here, some of this, and put it here, and some of this, and put it there. There we go. And it looks just different enough. Maybe I'll make the brush bigger, and I'll sample here, and move these windows down a little. So now it doesn't look as bad. It doesn't look great, but it looks better than it did. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? That's what I forgot. I'm going to select these and go up here and merge the visible layers. Boom. So now we have the old version. I'll make that invisible again, and we have the new version. I definitely made it way too bright. It doesn't look good. We're going to sharpen. So I'm going to zoom in on the boy's shirt, go up to filter, and go to sharpen, and smart sharpen. I'm going to double check my directions. We want it to be 60%, 1.5, and lens blur. Okay. So some of these, yeah. So I'm going to change this to 60%. I'm going to put this on, let me check again, 1.5. 1.5. And under remove, I'm going to change it to lens blur, and I want to make sure this more accurate is checked, and hit OK. So now the shirt looks a little more clear. The whole thing does. Oh yeah. I'm going to go up to File, Save, and then I would turn in the image. Actually, what I should do is go in and read the directions, make sure I did everything, and then on the Google website, you can check out, let's see, and we'll look at the assignment. Oh, here's the rubric. You can go through the rubric and see what you have to do to get the most points and make sure you did all those things. And then you could submit. Hopefully that helped. You can see how my Photoshop is missing a lot of the neat stuff that yours has. I'll talk to you all soon. I miss everybody. Goodbye. See you later.